eyes. It kills me. Okay, so just trying to see, I'm just checking out my, right, let's see about the Facebook. Yes. Okay, I'm not sure this is actually going to work. Facebook Live. And see about doing this. Just bear with me 2 seconds, ladies. While everyone else is jumping on, I'll just do this and try to make sure that I can stream this in my Facebook group. If not, I'll just have to upload the recording there. I just want to try. Just want to try. See. How's everyone doing today? My computer's slow. Right. Getting somewhere, getting somewhere, getting somewhere. Apologies, this is painfully slow. Painfully slow. Okay, I might just give it a miss because it's way too slow for my liking. Right. It's loading, it's loading, it's loading. It's too slow. Okay, it says I'm streaming, but don't know if that's right, but I'm gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go and start this today. So we can see your mouse movements. Oh, sorry. I give up on that because I don't think it's actually going to work. So it says I'm streaming, but I don't know. Anyway, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And today I'm going to take you through the steps to balance your hormone, especially through this crazy, busy holiday season. Everyone's rushing around, and it's kind of like I woke up this morning and like, yikes. It's literally a week to Christmas today. Literally a week. So it's crazy busy, I'm sure, for everyone. So can you all see the screen properly? Yeah, we can see. Yeah, we can see you. Perfect. Thank you. So just to give you an overview briefly on what I'm going to do today. This talk is going to last about an hour, and we're going to go through the nitty-gritty of hormones, where they come from. I'll tell you a bit about myself, why I'm doing this, and I have my super duper, I have a new program I'm launching, which is something I've never done before. I've done enough, literally small groups offline, but I've never done an online group session before, so it's a new one for me online, but I've done it enough times offline. So I decided I'm going to do it offline to reach many more gorgeous ladies out there that need my help. So feel free to ask questions or make some comments as I go along. I will be checking them as I get through the slides, right? Just to check, can you see my slides very well? Are you okay with the slides? You can see my video, you can see my face, you can see the slides. Let me know, please, that you can see both. So I know that's at least working and streaming properly. Presentation is still on the front page. Right, okay. Yes, the slides change. We can now see. Perfect! Yay! Okay, so just to tell you a bit about myself, you can read what's on the screen. 12 years ago, I used to be an IT, well, almost 12 years ago, I used to be an IT consultant in the finance sector in London. And I worked super hard. I was freelance, so I used to get paid a daily rate. And I came up the guys, because it's a male-dominated environment, and the guys were like, "You have to prove yourself," kind of thing. Say some, no, I had a couple say it to my face, but you knew that they were thinking that about, why, black female in a male-dominated environment, why do I get to command that amount of money? And so I was always being watched. So I worked super hard. And then I got diagnosed with breast cancer, October 2007, and had to take that time out to go through the rigorous treatment of multiple surgeries, chemo, radiation, an injection called Zoladex, and 5 years of tamoxifen, because the type of cancer I had was estrogen positive. So they had to shut down my hormones. So coming out of that, the side effects were they were horrendous. I had menopausal symptoms. I knew what it was, felt like to go through menopause at a very young age, and also it was crazy. It was literally crazy. And then coming out of it, I needed to find ways to heal myself, and without additional chemicals being pumped into my system. So I embarked on this journey of research and discovery, and I found the holistic wellness world. And the first thing I started with was juicing more vegetables than fruits, actually. So, and I realized that, going through that, I started to feel more energized, because, fatigue was one of the main things. I would, go have a shower and need to go back to bed. That's how bad it was. And I ended up writing a book. I didn't even plan to write a book. It was, I put together a manuscript for myself that I wanted to use to guide me to, through staying healthy and being healthy, because obviously no one wants to go back to get re-diagnosed again and have to go through all that crappy treatment. So that was a manuscript from myself, but for me, I say the Holy Spirit told me to share the book with everyone else, which I found a publisher in the most convoluted way, and it got published. The book is called Healing Foods, Healthy Foods. And I wanted to find more details about, this whole new holistic world. I needed to find more information. And then I went to train at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition after embarking on a year-long book signing and demo tour kind of thing in the UK. The book was very successful. Whole Foods took it on. And like I said, I went to New York to train to become a holistic health coach, one of the really, really best things I did ever. And I came back and started coaching people. And my message since then has been about prevention. Do you know you can prevent disease? And I, through the years, and the business has changed in certain ways, and it's got to this point where I'm happy with focusing on reducing stress and balancing hormones, because when I came off the drug tamoxifen, I wasn't told by my oncologist that I would have this volcano erupt of emotions and menopausal symptoms times a million, and foggy thinking and brain fog and everything going on, and that I didn't understand what is this? And I rang my oncologist and told her what my symptoms were, and she goes, "Oh, those are withdrawal symptoms that usually some people get it, but not everyone." So it's kind of like having a heads up about it would have been great. Then at least I would have been prepared and not spent the last week or two trying to figure out what's going on and wondering if I was going bonkers or something. So that spurred me on to actually go back again to do more research into hormones. What's going on with my hormones? How is this happening? What I needed to find answers for myself to heal from the crazy that was going on. And because my hormones have been suppressed for 5 years, at the treatment time, that's 6. I needed to find ways to heal myself, and through the research, that's why I embarked on this journey of finding out about hormones and getting to know all about the hormones, which is what I'm going to share with you today, right? So here's what we're going to talk about: how hormones are produced, the different types of hormones, how hormones affect the body, what is hormone imbalance, the signs and symptoms, and how to figure out if you're experiencing hormone imbalance, the causes, and give you 7 steps to balance those hormones, and a few more useful takeaways. So let's jump right in. So hormones are your body's chemical messengers. They travel through the bloodstream and to organs and tissues. They actually, I call them, the whole mechanics of the body. They affect a lot of things in the body, from your brain function to your organ function to everything in your body. That's what they affect. So I want us to just touch briefly on 7 main female hormones. So a lot of these we know: estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, the stress hormone, thyroid. A lot of women suffer from thyroid issues, DHEA, testosterone, and androstenedione. We're not going to delve into each of them, because that's a whole different topic that I usually deal with. But when it comes to take, for example, what I had to go through, from the research I've done so far, having ER positive breast cancer just means that I was, before I got diagnosed, I was going through estrogen dominance, but I didn't know it. But the signs were there. I had really bad skin. I used to have headaches, migraines all the time. I wasn't sleeping properly. There was a lot going on with me that I didn't understand. My periods were not erratic. They were okay, but sometimes there was an issue. I had, I suffered from, really bad PMS symptoms as well. So estrogen dominance is one of the factors that actually leads to and feeds the cancer side of things. So hormones affect growth and development, metabolism, sexual function, reproduction, mood. So this is basically every function in your body that's happening, and hormones affect all that. Hormones are produced in the endocrine system, right? And the endocrine system controls literally most of what the body functions. It produces hormones that travel through different parts of the body to maintain tissues and organs. So a lot of the hormones are actually produced from the hypothalamus, which is the master hormone, and triggers messages that sends messages to the pituitary gland to actually create certain hormones in the body to kickstart a lot of function in the body. So here are the organs of the endocrine system. Like I just mentioned, the hypothalamus, which is a master hormone, the pituitary, pineal, thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, adrenal, kidney, pancreas, ovary, uterus, and testes. So those are the organs of the endocrine system. So what causes hormone imbalance? Hormone-based contraception, because the thing about contraceptive pills, they are meant to stop partly meant to stop ovulation. So that is having an effect on your hormone function. And the thing about it is that causes a hormone imbalance right there, because it's not normal for you to take synthetic drugs to stop the normal function of your hormones. That's not normal. So pregnancy and childbirth, obviously your hormones are running ragged. Being overweight also affects your hormones. Endocrine disruptors are such like chemicals and toxins in your skincare products, in your food, whatever it is. Some of them are called xenoestrogens. These are synthetic estrogens, or chemicals that mimic estrogen. So then you have blood sugar imbalances, food allergies, and unhealthy gut. If you have food allergies, that has a direct impact on your gut health. And a lot of your hormones are created in your gut area. So that will cause a hormone imbalance. Inflammation caused by poor diet and sedentary lifestyle. High amounts of stress. Where stress is concerned, when you're highly stressed, cortisol is through the roof, literally, and that has a direct impact on your insulin levels. It has a direct impact on ghrelin, and which is the hormone that tells your body that you're full or you're hungry. They're two hormones, so that's an imbalance right there. And then lack of sleep and rest. Your body needs good quality sleep. If not, your hormones are out of balance. Aging and toxicity. Aging, we can't do too much about, but the amount of toxins we let into our homes, on our skin, into our food system, we can do quite a lot about. Okay, so now and again, like I said, I'm going to be checking questions. So if you have any questions, do let me know. So what are the signs of hormone imbalance? Irregular periods, infertility. Thing is, excuse me, when I started looking and researching into hormone imbalance for myself, it so happened I think, sometimes when, God, the universe wants you to do certain things, and you're in a zone, it comes to you. So when I was researching about the whole hormone imbalance, I started to get female clients coming to me that had infertility issues, or were over 35, 40s, wanting to get pregnant and get their bodies ready for pregnancy, or were having difficulties or irregular periods. So I, that was one of the reasons, another reasons why I decided to focus on hormone imbalance. Unexplained weight gain and weight loss, depression and anxiety, fatigue, insomnia, low libido, digestive issues. So there's a lot. Hair loss and thinning, mood swings, that is very common. So if how many people here actually relate to any of the symptoms on here? Put in the chat box and let me know if you actually relate to any of these, resonate with any of the symptoms on here. And I'll check back and see. So there's a lot, and this is by no means an exhaustive list, which is why sometimes an imbalance is something that is not usually looked into or diagnosed quickly, especially when women have a thyroid problem. It takes some time to actually get diagnosed. So because the symptoms are, range from, one thing to the other, and you can have multiple symptoms at the same time. So sometimes it's not easily diagnosed. And I get a lot of women come to me and say they've been to their doctors, they know there's something wrong, they've been to the doctor, and they've run the blood test, and the blood tests have come back normal. So the doctors think there's nothing wrong with them. So that is the point I actually get the clients come to me. It's like, help, I know something's wrong, but the doctors can't tell me anything. So unfortunately, that's where women are. A lot of women are at that point, and that's when they come to me. And luckily, I'm able to help them and work through whatever it is that's going on with them. So some of the some specific problems associated with some of the most common hormone imbalances include issues like endometriosis, PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, low estrogen, low progesterone, the thyroid problems, hypo or hypothyroidism, diabetes, adrenal fatigue, fibroids. So there are a lot of issues that actually do stand out as hormone problems. But the sad fact is that a lot of these, like, for example, endometriosis and polycystic ovarian syndrome, a lot of women have suffered with these issues for so long because they've, it's been, a long time. It's taken them a long time to get that, properly diagnosed. Not sure why, but I was talking to a lady on Monday. I ran a workshop on Monday, and she came up to me. She's just turned 40, and she just recently got diagnosed with endometriosis. And all the symptoms she's been having them since she was in her 20s. So it's shocking how long it takes. And it's kind of like, oh, you have PCOS, you don't have PCOS, you have PCOS, you don't have it. So there's been this yo-yo with her. And coming to my workshop, a lot of what I said to her made sense. A lot of which is in this that I'm going to be talking about on this webinar. A lot of it made sense, and she needed to. She wanted to work with me, which I will be working with her at some point, in the new year, to actually figure out exactly what's going on with her, because she's literally at the end of her rope, and because they're not giving her any answers, and that's the most unfortunate thing about the medical profession right now. So there are different testing. So I'm just going to touch briefly on the types of testing that's done. Saliva testing is the preferred method for women, especially when it comes to testing the cortisol levels. Because the thing about the cortisol level is you can take a blood test, which is 1 point in the day, and it could tell you anything, But the reason why the saliva testing is preferred is because it's taken at 4 points in the day: morning, mid-morning, afternoon, and evening. That will give you a better picture of what's going on with your hormones. There are certain other tests that I run for, with I send my clients to get tested for. A lot of it can be done, via blood tests like the estrogen, progesterone, FSH, LH. So that is done at certain time points in your cycle. Other tests are done, at different times, at any time rather. And then blood test is ideal for testing male testosterone levels because, especially when it comes to when a couple are trying to conceive, you need to test that as well, and test the male side of things. So treatment, when it comes to treatment, conventional treatment usually include synthetic hormone replacement therapies, birth control pills. I've had quite a few women come to me and say they've had really painful periods and either suffering from endometriosis. Endometriosis, one of the symptoms is severe period pains, and or they have bad acne or what. Even when I was younger, I had really, really bad acne, and looking back now, I had hormone imbalance, but I was prescribed the pill, and I remember taking it for about a month, and I thought, no, I'm not doing this. This was in my 20s. So insulin injections, thyroid medications, and the whole host of things. Here's the thing: there are a lot of natural remedies that women can take to help balance the hormone levels without experiencing any of the crappy side effects that come from the synthetic drugs, right? So I do have a comprehensive hormone questionnaire, which is literally on my website. So if you want to find out or get an idea of what's going on with your hormones, this is by no means a proper diagnosis or anything. So please don't take it as that. If you do take the questionnaire, it just gives you an insight into what may be going on with your hormones, and then the next thing is to go get some proper testing done. So jump onto my website and take the hormone quiz and see where you're at, and come back to me, connect with me, and let's have a conversation about it and see how I can help you if it does present as in you've got some hormone imbalance there. I know a few of you have taken it already because I included it in the invite, and if you'd like to have a conversation about it, depending on what your results are, please send me an email to info@rockondivas.com, and I'll be happy to go through the questionnaire results with you and see how I can help you if it does point out that there might be some issues. Okay, so it's all about hormone balance. How do we get the balance that we so crave and thrive, and not feel like we're going stir crazy, and enjoy the life that we're meant to to live, and without having to be completely fatigued all the time, not being able to think clearly, and a whole host of other things going on. How do we do that? So let's jump into a few natural ways to prevent hormone or balance your hormone. For those of you, every time I do this talk and people see the slides, it's like, oh no, I love my coffee. Yes, coffee is the first thing that you have to either reduce or let go of, right? So because the benefits, the negative parts of coffee outweighs the few benefits that coffee has, because it does have some benefits, but the negatives outweigh that. And one of the when it comes to coffee can be very dehydrating and has a negative impact on your nervous system, especially if you're a heavy coffee drinker and you don't drink a lot of water. If you do feel like you cannot let go of the coffee, I would say reduce the coffee, your coffee intake to 1 cup of coffee a day, and always match it with a couple of glasses of water so you're not dehydrated, okay? Or if you're looking to come off coffee, which I would advise to come off coffee, the best way, if you've been having, I wouldn't say to do it, cold turkey, because you will get withdrawal symptoms from that. So the best way to do it, say for example, if you're a 2 to 3 cup drinker a day, reducing it to from 3 to 2, from 2 to 1, and then gradually 1 every other day, and then let go of it gradually. You could have alternatives like green tea. Green tea does have a little bit of caffeine in it, not on the level of coffee itself, but if you want that fix, have some green tea. I used to drink a lot of coffee, not in the sense of having 2 to 3 cups a day, but caffeine always factored in my day in the sense of I would have, on the way to work, I would get a triple shot cappuccino and a muffin. Sometimes that was my breakfast, and then have that. And throughout the day, I would have tea, which is black tea, which contains caffeine as well. And I would have the normal small size bottle of water with me that I would not finish. I would take that home. So I wasn't drinking a lot of water either. And I've got a sweet tooth. So sugar factored into everything that I put in my mouth on a daily basis, several times a day. So that wasn't very helpful, because through my research, I found that one of the factors cancer cells need to grow and have a party in your body is sugar. So they feed off sugar, as well as high stress levels and inflamed body, which all of that I had. So I was, my environment was the perfect environment for the cancer cells to form into a tumor and cause a problem. So I would suggest reducing on the caffeine. The next thing you could do is increase dietary omega-3s. So the body does need fats to be able to perform many of the processes vital for good health, as well as hormone production and rebuilding of cells. One thing I always hear from a lot of ladies is they need to cut out fat. They go ahead and when they go grocery shopping, they get the low fat, no fat products, and that's not ideal, because I would encourage you, please stay away from the low fat or zero fat products, because those products have been stripped. Yes, all the fat has been removed. Any nutrients that existed in that product, especially dairy products, have been stripped out, and they've been fortified with synthetic products and sugar to make them taste better, because once you take out the nutrients and the fat, it tastes horrible. So they have to replenish the taste with synthetic products and processed sugar. So please, if you want to have any dairy products, if you're not lactose intolerant or anything, please go for the full fat option rather than the low fat and semi-skimmed or whatever they've got out there on the market. Better still, try to stay away from dairy products. That's a whole other discussion, but trying to stay away from dairy products is key to improving your health, because that's one of the very first things when clients come to me with gut health issues. The very first thing I do is take them off dairy products, because they are mucus forming in the system. What is produced these days is not fit for human consumption, because the animals are injected with hormones and antibiotics, which leach into the food system, and you're ingesting that as well. So try as much as possible, if you can, to stay away from dairy products. And I hear you say, so what's the alternative? You've got plant milks. You've got other forms of yogurt, if yogurt is your thing. There's coconut yogurt. There's a lot of other alternatives out there. More healthy, more natural alternatives out there. Okay. So the next thing that we can do is get plenty of good quality sleep. When you sleep is when your body heals itself. That's when all the toxins and bacteria that you've accumulated through the day get released. And it's not just to sleep 7 or 8 hours. It has to be good quality sleep. So I encourage you to have a bedtime routine where you shut off techie stuff, the laptop, the iPhones, at least an hour, so you're not getting the radiation from the screens, and make sure your room is cool. I tend to diffuse some oils in my room, make sure it's dark. So having good quality sleep can have, really, really incredible positive effects on balancing your hormones. And the thing about it is, if you don't have adequate amounts of sleep, it triggers stress hormones and depletes your adrenals. And for me, if I don't get good sleep, I don't function properly throughout the day. And I've met a lot of people that are in that situation. I know there are people out there who say, I can function on 4 hours of sleep. Okay, so do that for a long period of time and come back and tell me how you feel after about a month. So it is good idea to have good quality sleep. Just checking out questions. Does this go for goat's milk as well? I would say yes, unless it's grass-fed. So if you want to go, still have dairy, make sure the dairy comes from grass-fed animals. In their natural environment, because the agriculture now, farming and all that is just crazy. If you watch the documentaries where they have this, oh God, I don't even want to say it, because some of the documentaries are so sad, and what happens with our food system and everything is just ridiculous. So they have everything, all the animals caged up without movement. They don't move, and they're fed with corn or food that isn't their natural source of food, isn't what they would normally eat. So and then now they are injected with hormones, with antibiotics, because they get diseased or whatever it is. So okay, I'm just going to stop there, and you get the picture. So make sure it's organic, grass-fed. Source of dairy products, if you have to have dairy products. Okay. So the other thing is increase your levels of magnesium and vitamin D. Magnesium helps to promote sleep. It actually relaxes the muscles. And one thing I tell clients when they're highly stressed or present with joint aches and pains, I invite them to go do have an Epsom salt bath. I don't know if you've have you heard of Epsom salts? Anyone heard of Epsom salts? Let me know. So if you haven't heard of Epsom salts is it contains magnesium, and what it does is it actually relaxes your nervous system. And one of the other things that it does is it pulls toxins out of your body. Marcia, yes, but not use it. You gotta use it. Marcia, you still gotta use Epsom salt. Okay, have just a cup of Epsom salt in a bath with a few drops of lavender oil. Oh my God, you will have such a good night's rest. It also pulls, it pulls, or if you're not a bath person, which sometimes I'm not, and if I have achy feet, I've been walking in heels all day, which sometimes I do when I run workshops or meet with clients. I will just get my foot spa, put water in it, put Epsom salts, a few drops of lavender oil, and sit there. The feeling, the relaxation, and go to sleep and have a good night's rest. So it's pulling toxins out of your body. It's relaxing you, relaxing your nervous system, and it's one of the best, and it actually helps with joint aches and pains. So if you suffer from joint aches and pains, that I would recommend. Highly recommend that. Okay, so give it a try, and let me know how you get on. So other sources of magnesium, dark leafy greens, vegetables, pumpkin seeds, and fish. Where it comes to fish, as much as possible, try not to have farmed fish. We have a lot of that right now, and unfortunately, where I am in Dubai, there's way much more. So I love fish, and my diet does not include red meat. It includes chicken or fish sometimes. And now I'm doing more vegetables because I'm very wary of where it comes from, and not easy to get, because I love salmon, not easy to get wild caught salmon. So I try to keep it to the local fish. So getting some sun for vitamin D is also a good idea. If you are in either the US or the UK, it's winter time now, so you don't get a lot of sunshine. And even if you did, you wouldn't, it's kind of too cold to go out and go basking to try to get some vitamin D. So I would say please supplement with a good source of vitamin D supplements, right? And but funny enough, being in Dubai, I know having lived been in the UK, the amount of the percentage of people who are vitamin D deficient is between 70 to 80%. And when I came to Dubai and did that research here, I found that it was much higher. I was so flabbergasted by it because there's an abundance of sunshine in this region, but people don't go out, they don't go walking or anything. So the 90% of the population are vitamin D deficient. So but anyway, if you're not able to go out to get some sun, the best time to get some sunshine to get your vitamin D is before 11:30 in the morning. If you have ample sunshine, go out before 11:30. And the best thing to do is not to put any moisturizer on your skin because that blocks the penetration of the rays into your skin. So go bare skin, no moisturizer, 15 to 20 minutes, you're good to go, right? That's adequate amount of vitamin D into your system for the day. So again, if it's not possible, like in the colder regions right now, then please do supplement because you get less time or less sunlight. So another way to balance your hormones is getting coconut oil into your diet, into your lifestyle, not just your diet, your lifestyle. It aids weight loss and produces hormones and reduces inflammation. Coconut oil is one of the most versatile oils on the planet, right? And it's very good at high heat. You can cook with it at high heat, but it's good for other things as well. I've used it to clean my teeth. It's called oil pulling. So you put a tablespoon of coconut oil, raw virgin coconut oil in your mouth and literally squish it around for about 10 to 15 minutes. I cannot do 10 minutes because I can't do longer than that. And it literally cleans out your mucus from your sinuses, your teeth, bacteria in between your teeth, and it actually whitens your teeth as well. I use it as part of my skincare. I'll get into skincare down the line in a few minutes. I don't actually use any chemical-laden products. A lot of what I use on my skin is actually I make myself and pure and natural. So one of the bases I use is coconut oil with essential oils, which I'll talk about in a bit. And so coconut oil is far better for hormone health. And so find ways to add it to your diet and to your everyday lifestyle. Like I said, I use it on my hair. I sometimes use it to clean my face, and some use it as a toner and then wash your face off. And I use it in my smoothies. I use it to cook. Like I said, I use it to clean my teeth. So that it's so versatile. You can use it for anything, right? Another thing to be aware of is taking up regular low impact exercise, especially for those who know they have a hormone imbalance. So I would suggest low impact exercise, because if you go ahead and you've got a hormone imbalance and you go ahead and take up high impact exercise, that's increasing the stress levels, and that is counterproductive. So low impact exercises such as brisk walking, yoga, swimming, those are much better until you get to the point of, you get that balance back, and then you can take up high impact if that's something that you enjoy, right? So we talk about gut health. I mentioned it earlier on before. So we have trillions of bacteria in our gut, right? And hormones are produced in our gut as well. If we have, gut health issues, that impacts the hormones, that impacts your whole overall health and well-being. So we want to keep the ratio. We have good and bad bacteria in our system, which is fine, but we want to keep that ratio to more good bacteria than bad bacteria. And one of the ways to do that is to take good sources of probiotics, either in supplement form or through food, like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and some if you have to have dairy, Greek yogurt is much better because it's been fermented. So any fermented foods are quite good sources of probiotics that will help to heal your gut, right? So it's all about your hormone health. So what can you put together? Having said all that, how can you eat to balance your hormones? Here are 15 hormone balancing foods. This is not an exhaustive list by any means whatsoever, but it will give you a starting point on what to start including in your diet to balance your hormones. Avocados are good sources of fat, vitamin E. Eggs, good source of protein. Figs and dates. Figs and dates are natural sources of sugar. So rather than have processed sugar, and they come with other nutritional benefits as well. Maca. Not many people have heard of maca powder. Maca powder is produced in Peru, and it's from, I don't know, some people call it a fruit, some people don't refer to it as a fruit. But what it does is it's good for balancing the hormones. And for those that are going through menopause, it's really, really especially good for reducing menopausal symptoms as well. So it's not a hormone as well by any means at all. It doesn't have hormone activity. It's just one of those superfoods that actually help with balancing hormones. There's a lot more information I can provide to you about it. With time constraints, I can go deep into it. I actually use maca myself. I've been using it for, I think, about 2 years now, and it's really, really good. The only thing about maca powder is you have to, before you get or feel any benefits from it, it takes about 3 months, right? So it's just, being patient with it and, keep having it. I have it in my smoothies or my juices. That's how I take it. It comes in powder form, and I have it in my smoothies or juices. Soaked and sprouted nuts and seeds like Brazil nuts and almonds are really good. Coconut milk and oil, we've talked about that. Olives are really, really good. Source of good fats. Raw butter and ghee, cultured foods. Green tea is high in antioxidants as well, so it's quite good. Lentils and miso, sprouts, bone broth, and quinoa. Like I said, a few minutes ago, it's by no means an exhaustive list, but it gets you started. So I cannot talk about hormone health without talking about the liver. The liver is the main detoxification organ, right? So, and in the world that we live in today and what we ingest, our liver tends to be overworked. It is our waste system, right? So the amount of processed foods that we ingest, sometimes it's way too much for the liver to flush out. So we need to give the liver a helping hand by, either changing the diet or giving ourselves that space for, the liver to take time, as well as the digestive system, your gut, give it some time. So what I tend to do is I have detox programs. I would detox now and again, or a lot of people talk about intermittent fasting. Yes, that's good. And you just have to figure out, the balance of where you do it, and do it in a very good way. So here are some recommendations to reduce toxins from your system. Eat an organic whole foods diet. I know it's very, very expensive to be healthy and eat healthy in the world we live in today. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So it's trying to find that balance with getting organic produce, because they're more expensive. And that's because, they don't get, the organic farmers don't get, they're not subsidized, but, mainstream farming is subsidized. So it doesn't make any sense to me, but, here's the thing. The way to navigate through it, there's this organization called Environmental Wellness Group. It's an American organization that have come up with the concept of the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. The Dirty Dozen are produce and that you need to buy organic, such as leafy greens, the berries, because those, when you have pesticides sprayed on them, they literally are, go literally into the produce. So try as much as possible to get leafy greens, berries, and any soft fruit, any fruit that has a soft exterior, apples, organic. And then the Clean 15, fruits and vegetables such as avocados and bananas and pineapples. So, there's a list of them. So jump onto ewg.org, Environmental Wellness Group. It's the website is ewg.org, and you'll find a lot on there. And they also have, a sister website, which is for the skincare. It's called Skin Deep, I think, where you can get a whole list of chemicals and toxins and probably check your own products on the website. It's mostly American-based products, but you can find out how much. In fact, where the skincare is concerned, look at the ingredients list of your skincare products. If you can't pronounce any of the ingredients on there, you shouldn't be putting it on your skin. That's the rule. That is the rule that I was taught. If you cannot pronounce it, it shouldn't go on your skin. Right? You should be able to eat what you put on your skin. So as much as possible, this is a place where you start to clean out gradually. Start using up your skincare products and looking into alternative, natural, chemical-free, paraben-free skincare products, right? So there are a lot of them on the market, a lot of small companies that are chemical-free, paraben-free that you can look into. So if you want some suggestions, I can, send me an email. I can give you some suggestions as well, right? So eat antibiotic and hormone-free meats, fish, and dairy. I talked about this before. Free-range, products that are the best. So organic. So if you have to have meat, fish, or dairy, look for farmed fish, dairy from free-range sources, organic. Use a water filtration system. Here's the thing: plastic bottles, water is not water. You're drinking plastic because it's been sitting in those bottles. They've traveled on trucks in the heat and all that. You get the picture. So try as much as possible to get a filtration system at home, or if you have to get water outside, try as much as possible to look for glass bottled water. Use a high quality air purifier in your home. I diffuse oils at home to clean the air. I use a company called doTERRA. The company produce therapeutic grade pure essential oils. So that's what I diffuse at home. But the other way you can have a filter, an air purifier at home as well. Or you can get a lot of plants. Plants actually clean the air for you. So you can get a lot of plants at home that would actually clean the air and, so you breathe clean air. Avoid caffeine, alcohol, and smoking. Goes without saying. I've just talked about the plastics, and swap out chemical household cleaners, soaps, and antibacterial products. And then use chemical-free beauty and skincare products. Here's the thing where it comes to all this cleaning products and skincare products. So research out there says that 60% of what we put on our skin goes into our bloodstream. That gets into the endocrine system. That's your hormones, that's your organs, everything, right? So if you can imagine 60% of that, and then to put it into context, there is further research that says that by the time a woman is walking out her front door in the morning, she's put on about 127 different types of chemicals and toxins on her skin. And then 60% of that goes into your bloodstream. It's shocking, really. For men, it's about 87 or 97. I can never remember the figure for men. So this is where we need to clean all our skincare, household products. There are a lot of companies that have come up with cleaner, chemical-free household cleaners that actually clean properly. I use some of them. One of the companies I use is called Ecover, and also I tend to use vinegar as well. I use vinegar to clean as well, because since going through the treatment, and one of the side effects of the chemo is that you're very sensitive to everything, smell, whatever it is. And I think I've stayed that way. So anytime there's any chemical around me, it just literally, I feel like it's going to my head. So I try as much as possible to stay away from chemicals. And then the other thing this is my love. This is what I love. Essential oils. They enrich your life, through enhancing mind, body, and spirit. The thing is that they're very, small in size, and they, quickly absorb through the skin. They are powerful antioxidants and prevent oxidation. They have antibacterial, anti-cancer, anti-tumor, antimicrobial, anti-infection, anti-everything properties. So you can't go wrong with them. Actually, you could, if you're not careful where you get the oils from, because the oils, the essential oil industry is not well regulated. So there are a lot of companies that produce essential oils with added synthetic products in there. So you have to be very careful where you get them from, which is one of the reasons why I use the company called doTERRA. Because they produce, like I said, they're certified pure therapeutic grade oils, right? And a couple of oils that are great for balancing hormones are clary sage and lavender. I love lavender because, it relaxes you, puts you to sleep. It's anti-inflammatory, it's anti-infectious as well. So it has that. And then clary sage literally is it's an oil for balancing hormones. Especially, since I started using clary sage, especially around my periods, it's kind of like, oh wow, this is. And I use them. I make blends that I use as my perfume. So when people meet me, it's like, Gloria smells like the spa, which is something I love. It's not like but it's good because everyone wants to hug me, saying I smell like the spa, and I love the smell, and I know what the benefits are. So essential oils, cannot go wrong with them. I highly recommend them. So that's a lot of tips for you. I know I said 7, but that's way more than 7. I'm going to give you a few more tips of what you should avoid. I've touched on this a little bit, eliminating toxins and chemicals from your system. In order to balance your hormones, that's, the first thing to do is look into your diet. The second thing is to get out those toxins and chemicals from your system, because they have an adverse effect on your endocrine system, which is your hormones, includes your hormones as well. So avoiding conventional body care products, and because they are made with harmful chemicals, including DEA, parabens, propylene, glycol, and sodium lauryl sulfate. That is the main thing, the sodium lauryl sulfate. If you look at your skincare products, your shower gel, your face wash, everything, the first ingredient on there is the sodium lauryl sulfate, because that's what helps to make the lather, make the product, the body wash lather quite a lot. So you want to get that out of your system. And like I said, EWG.org. I was right, the Skin Deep Cosmetic Database. So you can possibly check your product there, but if you don't find it there, a lot of the products on there are more American-based because it's an American organization, right? So go on there and check that out. Avoiding processed and refined foods. So here are some top 10 cancer-causing foods. GMOs everywhere. Processed meats, yep, like the sausages and hams and all that. Microwave popcorn, any microwave food. Look, when you put food in the microwave, what it does is that it kills, if there was any nutrient in the food before it went into the microwave, there isn't any when it comes out, right? So please get rid of the microwave. It does you no favors, and go back, get that relationship with your cooker back and your oven, right? So if you want to warm some food, use it on, use your cooker to do that. Okay. And sodas, all the Cokes, and with all the sodas like the Coke and Pepsis and all that, which I have a different topic on it. I found that the amount of sugar in Coke is I think it was about 25 teaspoons of sugar, teaspoons or so, something like that, in a can of a bottle of Coke, which is a lot. So where sugar is concerned, we're all addicted to it. There's another research that suggests that sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Believe it or not, because we're all on sugar in whatever shape or form. And like I said before, I am a sweet tooth, and it was difficult for me to come off the number of chocolate bars I would have in a day. Now these days, I'm not saying I don't have chocolate, but not as often as I used to. And I would make my own snacks at home using more natural sugars like dates or maple syrup. And because the other thing for me is because I've been juicing for so long, and over the years I've been, more healthy than I used to be. What's happened is that my palate has changed. So if I go ahead and have like the Maltesers or Snickers, it's like I'm chewing a sugar crystal. So I stay away from them, right? So refined sugars, not something that you need in your as part of your diet. Farmed fish. Hydrogenated oils as well. So these are a few examples of what types of foods you should stay away from. Other thing is reduce antibiotic. We are a pill popping society. We anything happens to us, we go pop a pill because it's the quickest and easiest way to get better, but we're not getting better, we're masking the symptoms. Okay, that's what's happening. And the symptoms are that the root cause is still there and creating more inflammation and inflammation in your whole body until it turns into something that really you would not want. So doctors have been known to prescribe antibiotics for viruses. Antibiotics don't work for viruses. They work for bacteria, not for viruses. So it's a placebo effect. So what you want to do is, if you really, really, have to take antibiotics for a bacterial infection, please take probiotic alongside it. Because one thing that antibiotics do is that, as well as killing the bad bacteria, it kills the good bacteria in your gut. So you want to replenish while taking antibiotics with the probiotics. Okay, but the best thing would be to avoid taking antibiotics. And natural antibiotics, ginger, turmeric, what else? Lemon, limes, those have natural antibiotic properties in them. So those are the best things to have instead, right? Right, so let me check the time. A little over time. I feel like I've talked really, really fast. If I have, I apologize, because I want to say as much as I can get in to give you all the information that I can get to you, because that's what I'm here for, and that's what I like to do, to share the information that I've found over the years with gorgeous women like you, to help you heal yourself and stay healthy. So here's a bit about what I do. I focus on women's health, although I also run corporate wellness workshops, because that used to be my background. So I go back into the corporate world and coach people on, mitigating disease. If you feel crappy, it's not normal. You can do something now to get yourself healthy. But my passion is focusing on women's health and getting women healthy and living the best lives ever. So I, as a holistic health coach, I focus on reducing stress and balancing hormones. And I do that with a couple of programs that I put together, one is called the Body Boost, which lasts for 1 month. It's kind of like a kickstart into getting yourself healthy. And then the other is the Blissfully Balanced program, which is a personal one-on-one program that lasts for 3 months. If you're interested in working with me, you can send me an email to info@rockandivas.com, and I will schedule a discovery session with you. It's a session where I sit down with you, or I go online on a video chat like this and go through a health history and find out what's going on with you, see how I can help you, if I'm able to help you navigate through getting better health and wellness. You find out a lot more about me, how I work, more detail on the program, and if it's a good fit, then we can get started and do the needful and get you signed up on one of the programs that would work for you. But for this webinar today, like I said in the beginning, I am launching a new program, which is a group program called the Hormone Reset and Thrive program. And I will be doing that in a new group. I have my Balance Your Hormones with Gloria Facebook group. If you're not part of it, please feel free to jump on and request for access to that group. And this is a new program, which is a group program, like I said, that I will be working with as many women as possible in a different setting, where it's going to be an 8-week online group program, where we'll be having weekly group coaching calls which would last an hour. Each lady will have access to a 3-day detox program at the beginning, and my 8-week Thrive Technique course, which is an 8-week course that I've recorded video training and has activities and tasks to get done that gives you information about health and wellness and hormone health as well. So we get access to that course. And like I said, it's a weekly online program. We jump on for 1 hour, answer every single question you might have, help you navigate through the health and wellness side of things, balancing your hormones, whatever issues you're having. So I've opened the doors for this, like literally now, for people to jump in with every feature of the program. The total value is over £3,000. But for this time, it's the end of the year. The program begins on the 6th of January, and between now and the end of the year, your investment for this is £600, paid in full or 3 installments of £297, right? So this investment, this cost, goes away on the 31st of December, never to happen again, right? So it goes away on the 31st of December, and the program kicks off on the 6th of January in the Facebook group, the Hormone Reset and Thrive Academy Facebook group, right? So we'll have 8 weeks together working on your health goals, working on, answering questions, your health questions, what you want to do, and going through the Thrive Technique course as well as the detox program. And you have lots and lots and lots of information as well. And it's a safe space for women to come in and support each other as well. Okay, so now and again, I will have some guests appear in the group, possibly a gynecologist or a functional medical practitioner as well. So that's in the planning, but not confirmed yet. But I hope that happens, as I have a couple of people that I'm speaking to about it as well. So like I said, the investment for this time around is $600 for the full price, or 3 installments of £297. So how do you get on this? You will get an email with all the information, with a link to all the information, where you find the features. It's a page where you find all the features, what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and how to get into the academy, right? So please feel free to jump on that. You should get the email late, either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. The cart is open right now up until December 31st at midnight. No later than that. Okay, and come the new year, the next round of this program, the price will increase. It's not going to be this price anymore. It will increase. Okay, so yeah, so that's that about the program. So just have enough time to find out if you have any questions. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat now. A few people did send me questions earlier on today because they knew they wouldn't make it. They were watching this on the replay. So I said I'll answer the questions. And anybody have any questions, please feel free to ask either about the program I've just talked about or what I've talked about through the information I've provided for you. Any questions at all, please feel free to ask now. I've got a couple of questions. I think, oh gosh, I've got a couple of minutes before I jump off, so I'm going to see how much I can get through. Sandra says, I have thyroid issues and would like to find more natural ways to manage it, as I don't do very well with medication. Is this possible? Yes, Sandra, it is. It is possible. It's working with me, looking into what you're doing now, your diet, your lifestyle, and a whole host of other things. I need to take a full health history for you, look at what your blood tests have been. But it is something that it's definitely possible to do that. I worked with a client earlier on this year on my Blissfully Balanced program. She had Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid disease, and she was on huge a lot of medication. And within a month we changed her diet. She did the cleanse because part of what is included in the 3-month program is a 12-day detox. So once she finished that, we had a blood test done and started working together. By the end of the first month, she went for another checkup with her doctor and did another blood test. And her doctor was so excited because she was able to halve her medication for her and encouraged her to keep doing what she was doing. And she told her she was working with me, looking at her lifestyle, because it's not just the diet, it's your emotions, it's your physical activity, it's everything about the person. It's a holistic approach. So we look at everything. And one thing I would say at this point is that we get really personal. So you have to be open and willing to learn, to share, and to drill down and find out what the root cause of your issues are and when it started and how to fix them, because that's where we get started. Donna says, how good is a vegan diet for hormone balancing? As sometimes, if not followed properly, you can lack nutrients. Yes, Donna, you can lack nutrients. So you need to be fully aware of where you get your protein from, where you get your carbs, good fats from, and all the nutrients that your body needs. Vegans are known to be deficient in B12 a lot of the time, so they need to supplement. Are you a vegan, Donna, or are you thinking of becoming a vegan? So if it's done correctly, vegans tend to be okay living on a vegan diet. So yes, it can be good, but it's just something that has to be looked into and watched properly. And you create it in such a way that you're fully aware of your hormones. Check your hormones. I check every 6 months what's going on to keep track of what's going on. Okay, you started on organic eggs and oily fish again. Yeah, that's good, Donna. Yes, having that. Sorry, does that mean you've been vegan for how long have you been vegan? And how are you doing? Introducing. Wow, 9 years. Wow, Donna. So what made you go back to the eggs and oily fish? Did you just miss it? But yes, it's starting back on introducing the eggs and the fish. Organic is a good way to get started, and yes, that would add to helping you balance your hormones as well. Okay. Yeah, yeah, the B12. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's something that you need to keep an eye on, and work on creating that diet because not all diets are created for every single person. You have to work at creating a diet that works specifically for you and for your body type. So that's something we can work on if that's of interest to you, and we can create that diet for you. Because having that imbalance, that a lot of vegans do suffer from, but I know quite a few of them that are great and at balancing what their body needs for them. You just have to know how to do that. Yeah. Jackie says, I've been on the pill for over 20 years. I would like to come off and start a family. What would you advise? Jackie, I would advise that yes, it's a good idea to come off the pill. But don't expect to. You need that time in between coming off the pill and actually getting started on trying to conceive, because it takes time for the body to actually get rid of all that synthetic chemicals that has been in the system for such a long period of time. So I would suggest, if you're thinking about getting pregnant next year or whatever, now is the time to come off it and start putting in place tools that will help you clean out your body and get it ready for that process. I have worked with a few women who have put together a preconception plan for them, where they wanted to do exactly what you're trying to do, which is come off the pill and get their body ready for pregnancy. So it's a good idea. I don't know when you want to start doing that or when you want to start looking into planning that, but it's a good idea to start now and look to having at least 6 months to a year in between to literally clean out your body and get ready for that happy process. Okay. Oh, I'm looking at the time now, and it's literally gone 20 minutes over the planned time. So the rest of the questions, I will respond to them individually via email, since they were sent to me via email and my Facebook group as well. So this is where I say thank you for joining me, all you gorgeous, gorgeous ladies. I hope this has been useful to you. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to message me, join the Facebook group, which is Balancing Your Hormones with Gloria. And if you're interested in the in the group program as well, which starts on the 6th, and the prices go away on the 31st of December at midnight. Please feel free to, I will send the emails out tomorrow morning, which will include the replay of this webinar. So you'll have the replay sent out to you as well. So, right, so it's time for me to wish you all the best of the Christmas and holiday season brings for you, and I wish you a fantastic new year. Good start to the new year, and peace and blessings to you all. Okay, goodbye.